Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short, little unboxing video to share with you guys. Something from Spyderco, actually something from eKnives that was made by Spyderco. Thanks so much to eKnives for loaning this to me. I was looking through their website and found something that I had not taken a look at yet. I thought that I had, but I looked back through my my library, and no, I have not looked at this yet. So, always fun to look at Spyderco knives. Some of my favorite knives ever, for sure, absolutely for users. I will link this knife right down in the description. You guys can check it out if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. What do we have here? Oh, it is definitely on the larger side. Okay. So I have reviewed the standard Stretch 2, but this, as long as I'm not mistaken, is the Stretch 2 XL Cobalt. Just as I remember. This, I think this size here is like bigger than the PM2, but not quite as big as like the military. So what we have here is the blue, like FRN, or fiberglass reinforced nylon, whatever Spyderco calls it. And then we have CPM Spy 27, which is essentially a proprietary Spyderco version of S45VN. Some people in the comments might explain it as closer to S30V or closer to S35VN. It's all right there in that same general territory. You have an elongated clip point, Spyderco's clip point PM2 blade. Beautiful ergonomics, as you would expect and should expect from Spyderco. This is just as comfortable in the standard grip as it is choked up, and Spyderco's spoon clip really doesn't even bother me all that much. Something that I like, I don't like plastic in general. Like if I have the option, I'm reducing this to plastic. The truth is that fiberglass reinforced nylon, or whatever this is, it's the injection mold plastic, is far superior than, like, you know, Fisher Price plastic. It's pretty tough. I don't like it. If I have the option, I'm going to choose G10 over this stuff 100 times out of 100, right? But what's nice about Spyderco is theirs doesn't feel cheap. Now, I don't know if this is all the way through. I kind of doubt it. Let's take a look. No. You do have steel back to about where the lockback is. And that's what this is, by the way. It's a lockback. This will probably break in over time. It's not super stiff, but it's on disengagement. It's going to have to go through a break-in period. There definitely are people out there. In fact, like, let me know in the comments. I actually don't know what the percentage of people are who still prefer a traditional back lock, like a mid spine lock, over a more modern locking system. I mean, the Spyderco compression lock, I think a lot of us would consider a modern locking system, but isn't the compression lock like 20 years old? You know, or like, you know, the Super Lock or the Demco Shark Lock or whatever, right? Button locks, whatever you consider modern. It would be interesting to know how many people that watch my content still prefer a traditional back lock. I've made this point many times that I don't prefer it, and the only time where I kind of will make an exception is with companies like Cold Steel, because they, like, the trade-off is that their triad lock is like ridiculously strong. This isn't that difficult. Like, it's not stiff. It just needs a little, you know, like that. The nice thing is because of the way that Spyderco's forward choil is shaped, you can essentially just put your index finger here, push the button down, and shake it. It drops to about, 90 degrees, and then you can close it. Can you reverse flick it? Yes, you can. Easily. Cutting geometry, it's what you want from Spyderco. Flat, very elongated blade. The nice thing about a build like this, with I'm almost certain it's going to have phosphor bronze in there. It would be, I mean, maybe they do something else with these. I feel like they still They still run on phosphor bronze on the inside. Maybe not. I'll have to check that before I do the review. This is not a review. It's just an unboxing and first impressions. Tip up, tip down, right or left hand carry, which is nice, right? If you're super old school and you like tip down and you like lockback, so they make stuff for you. The nice thing about a build like this is Spy 27 is stainless, not stain proof, but stainless, meaning it's got a good enough chromium to carbon ratio that they can consider it stainless, right? So while I wouldn't call this a saltwater knife, it's certainly a knife that can be used in and around water, right? MagnaCut's still going to be better. Steels like M390, I believe, still have more corrosion resistance, right? S45VN is pretty close. I think Spyderco Spy 27 is like S45VN in that it has a higher chromium content than its S30V, S35VN brothers. I don't know that for sure. I feel like that's the case. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a straightforward, super utilitarian, lightweight, fairly compact, honestly, for how it is. Lightweight, serious cutting tool. Not in terms of tip strength, but just in terms of, like, you know, what it's capable of for how lightweight it is. Speaking of, we should probably do some specs here. The overall length of this guy, I mean, it is, sorry, I bumped the camera there. It's pretty big. Yeah, it's almost 9 inches. 8.85 inches. This is like, we're in Shirogorov territory. Blade length, 4 inches. Cutting edge, about 3.5. Yeah. Weight. So we're looking at a 4-inch blade. That freaking scale, man, I swear. There it is. 4-inch blade. This might weigh, God, does it weigh under 3 ounces? No way. Hold on. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. This is one of the craziest blade to weight ratios I have ever seen. So have I ever told you guys this? I have over 5,000 uploads on YouTube. I have handled a lot of knives. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen a crazier blade to weight ratio, but this is there. It keeps changing its mind. 2.6, 2.7, 4-inch blade. You could say 3.5 inches of cutting edge, but it is a 4-inch blade. 2.7 ounces of weight. Unreal. Where's the balance? Right there. Essentially perfect. So, I mean, that's a lot of tool for not a lot of burden. It looks pinned, but you actually do have full access. Yeah. Torques. Looks like maybe some better screws. This is a Seki City, Japan Spyderco as well. I like it. It's comfy. It feels like it looks like a tool. It feels like a tool. But it feels like a Spyderco tool. Probably still pretty expensive. I'll let you guys look it up. It's linked in the description. That's it for first impressions. Pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of a lockback, and I don't like plastic, but as far as what they built here, it does have its merits. Give me a chance to spend some time with it, and I will give you guys a full, comprehensive review. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. If you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.